Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 195 of the Weekly Pour Podcast. I am TBT. That guy over there in his very white t-shirt is Ace. It is Wednesday, August 26th, 2026, and we are just getting started. I don't even know where to begin tonight because we have got one hell of an episode full of news. Full of good news, full of bad news, full of just everything. Remember, we are coming to you live on YouTube right now like we do on every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And speaking of that, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone that's already in the live, hanging out in the chat. Again, that's on the YouTubes. So thank you. And if you are listening to the audio or watching the video replay, we want to thank you for joining us as well. If you are new to the show and are catching this live, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe button, just like our moderator said. It's about time she actually does what she's paid for. We want to thank everyone that's already in there. Of course, Mama TBT was first, as she always is for this episode as well. So we thank her. Like I said a while ago, massive show tonight. Lots of heavy news. We're going to celebrate the life and rock legacy of the incomparable Dolly Parton, following the heartbreaking news of her passing at the age of 80. What else do we have for you? We've got some Bret Michaels news, he has had to step off of the tour for quite a while, and we'll get into that. Triumph has made some more announcements regarding their upcoming tour. Alice Cooper dropped some stuff, and of course an AI thing, because we always have to get into AI. We always do. So we might as well keep that going. But first, for those that absolutely celebrate everything, we do have some interesting thoughts for today, because if you were not aware, today is one of Ace's favorite days, as it is National Dog Day.
Exactly. Because I have I'm down to 5? 4?
The fact that you have to count them to make sure is a little worrisome.
I think I'm down to 4.
Okay.
One.
You started off at 5.
Well, there were 5, but one comes and goes.
4.5?
Well, we babysit. We dog sit.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Yeah. Okay, so we're down to 4.
Okay. Down to 4 dogs. It is also, and I know this is for moderator Natalie, because it's one of her favorite days. It's National Cherry Popsicle Day.
Who declared that? Why?
The cherry popsicle people.
The lobby. The cherry popsicle lobby.
Yeah, exactly. But most importantly for today, whether you put yours up with the front flap or you do it with the back flap, like a mullet, today is National Toilet Paper Day. I mean, just imagine where we would be without toilet paper.
What do you do to celebrate National Toilet Paper Day?
Well, National Toilet Paper Day is your day and my day to make sure that it's just not shitty.
I walked you right into that.
Yeah, you did, and I appreciate it. And see, the moderator already said, yay, love me a cherry popsicle. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. And she says that over for your toilet paper is the only answer. So happy National Toilet Paper Day to everybody. We appreciate that, of course, for whatever reason. And you always need, sometimes, if you don't have a paper towel, you can have your toilet paper when you have your cherry popsicle. And it melts, and different story. Today, we're going to also talk about a little bit of rock and metal history, covering the stuff from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The reason we're doing that is because a lot of stuff did not happen today on August 26th. We'll start with yesterday, August 25th. A couple of big birthdays, one of which was the metal god himself, Rob Halford, who turned 75 years old.
Wow. And still brings it every live show. He is amazing.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Vivian Campbell, of course, from Def Leppard, celebrates his 64th birthday. And we're,
Uh, you heard about him, right? What he announced?
yeah,
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 that his cancer battle is
correct.
ongoing.
And celebrating his 77th birthday. And the only reason we can mention this is because we paid a royalty. Gene Simmons from Kiss turns 77 yesterday. As a little bit of nostalgia for you, Aerosmith released their massive comeback record, Permanent Vacation, back in 1987 on August 25th. And Rob Zombie released, what was it? Hellbilly Deluxe. I always have
Hellbilly,
Hellbilly Deluxe. It's always a tough one for me.
Hellbilly.
I don't know. Hellbilly Deluxe. I can't edit that out. I can't stop the live and start over.
I
As I,
like it. I like.
yeah,
Not a lot happened today. I like that.
Hellbelly. Uh, not a lot happened today. Of course, August 26th. One thing that did is the attendance, which has been estimated by the Guinness Book of World Records to have been between 600 and 700,000 people in 1970 at the Isle of Wight Festival. It kicked off today again back in 1970. There are news agencies at the time of this concert or festival, I guess, that said that the attendance was more like about 250,000. But
That's a
if
huge disparity.
if Guinness Book of World Records is going to sit and say that it was 700,000 people, I'm going with the Guinness Book of World Records. You have to.
Sure. Well, right, because they send a representative there to
Exactly.
count.
Yeah. Each individual person, that line
Right.
was 47 miles long.
Right. So it has to be accurate because they send reps there,
Yeah,
and that's by law.
exactly. And he lost count 4 times and they had to start all over. Some of the acts that were in attendance for this huge festival included Jimi Hendrix, Jethro Tull, Chicago, The Doors, The Who, and of course, many, many more. Tomorrow, August 27th, Black Sabbath released Paranoid, the single, back in 1970. Fun fact, you know this fact. You don't know
I,
this
I
fact?
didn't know this. I did not know this.
The single Paranoid was written in literally 20 minutes because the label needed a 3-minute filler.
Yeah, think about this though. First of all, is it 3 minutes long, or is it longer? Second of all, how do you get inspiration in something like this in 20 minutes? I
Have you
always wonder
met
about that.
have you met Black Sabbath?
Well, I always wonder about stuff like that. Paul Stanley talks about how he wrote "Love Gun" in 10 seconds on a napkin on an airplane or something, and almost as an aside, like it didn't matter. I just wrote it and it just came to me, and now look at this hit. Almost like we're marks for the music. It's terrible, but you liked it anyway. But it's not. It's genius.
Right.
So how are you inspired that in 20 minutes we need 3 minutes of filler?
Well, and you asked the question, and I'm going to answer it. The song was 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Are you kidding? It's that
Yeah,
short?
I would not kid you.
Whoa. Oh, so they really messed up.
Yeah, they still had 10 seconds to go.
They
So,
still had 10 seconds.
yeah,
They couldn't just
Sharon!
right at the end, or they couldn't just like play a little longer.
Yeah, apparently not.
Uh, Come
And
on.
back in 1990, the rock world did lose Stevie Ray Vaughan, who passed away tomorrow back in 1990, August 27th, 1990. Now, before we get into the heavy headlines for tonight that I've already told you a little bit about, we got to do a huge shout out to our sponsor, of course, Petty's Poor Decisions. They are headquartered in Lawrence County, Indiana. Petty's Poor Decisions is the premier mobile bar service bringing full bar setups and badass custom cocktails straight to your private party, wedding, or corporate event. Let them handle the drinks so you can actually enjoy the night. Check out Petty's Poor Decisions on your next time you've got an event. The link to them can be found in the show notes. Now, we get into the headlines, which is pretty good at 11 minutes into the show. We're jumping into the headlines because we got a lot to talk about. The number one headline that has been all over the news for the past few days, it's the past couple days, sorry. And if you didn't know, you've obviously been living under a rock. Dolly Parton, the country icon and rock and roll Hall of Famer, passed away yesterday at the age of 80. There's nothing like starting off an episode with, a heavy note like that. We've done it
Right.
before with other stuff, with Ozzy, even Hulk Hogan, because of his iconicness. Um, this has been something that has absolutely hit the music world, hit the world in general,
Hit the world.
just smacked right in the face. Um, she was a country icon, a rock icon, a pop icon, and honestly, you could say just a human icon, just in herself. The official statement confirmed that Dolly passed away peacefully yesterday at the age of 80, surrounded by loved ones at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee. She's a cultural titan who wrote over 3,000 songs. She sold over 100 million records and basically built an unmatched legacy across 60 years. It is so hard to really put into words and to really grasp a perspective about everything she has done. And I'm not talking about just in the world of music, just
No.
her persona, just Dolly being Dolly. You weren't going to trap her in a conversation about politics. You weren't going to
No.
have her saying negative things about anybody. Um, she was just a genuine person. And like I said, we could spend an entire hour, the next, 47 minutes talking about her and just everything that she's contributed to life in general. And she is definitely one of those people that's going to be missed. And I know, you text me because where I'm at, I I don't get a whole lot of news. You text me about this, and I'm, like, what are you talking about? And
Right.
this is another one of those that really does hit hard.
It does. And, you know, I mean, by all accounts, Dolly was genuine, like you said, that everyone who would meet her, even briefly, felt like she acted like she knew you her whole life. She treated you. It's everything that I'm going to say sounds cliche. She treated you like family.
Right.
She had a very folksy manner that appealed to people, and as you said, and they talked about the positive attitude that she always had. And it wasn't that she was perfect. People got under her skin, and she had her own moments of being down or depressed or down or whatever. And she's honest about those things. And she was self-deprecating uh, her whole life because her iconic look with the makeup and the wigs and the plastic surgery and things like that. But all
And
of that became
you
part.
have to say the boobs.
Well, that's part of the plastic
She,
surgery.
she would she would call you out if you didn't. It's
Right.
that's exactly how she would be.
Right, and just to point out, how much work it takes to look that good. Looking at her the last time she was around doing something, you wouldn't have could tell that she was in her 70s at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also to say, I saw some posts stating that country music lost an icon or something like that. That diminishes Dolly because she's like Ozzy, like Hogan. She transcended the genre she was in.
Yeah, for
As
sure.
you said, global icon.
Well, and to steal a little bit away from that country icon, the her last full-length album that she
Right.
ever
Imagine that.
released. was in 2023, and it was Rockstar. And the story behind this is she actually made this album after receiving her nomination and induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because initially she said, I'm not going in that. I'm not a
No,
rock star.
no. Give it to someone who deserves it, which is to her credit.
Right. Exactly. But what does she do? She puts out Rockstar. Uh and it's not just her, redoing rock songs. I mean, good
Right.
grief. She had
There were 9 tracks. There were 9 original tracks. Did you know that?
yeah.
Yeah, 9 original tracks, and then what? Something like 22 covers. There
Oh
were
my
over 30
gosh.
tracks.
Yeah. And if you look, I'm looking at it now, but if you look at the tracks and the people that were involved
Yeah,
in this, you were talking Judas Priest, Motley Crue, Fleetwood Mac, Journey, Bon Jovi. This was a true rock
Elton John.
star album. Elton John, Motley Crue. As a matter of fact, I actually I pulled this up earlier because I seen it and I had almost forgotten about it. But you remember Dolly Parton joined Motley Crue to redo Home Sweet Home on their From the Beginning singles collection, which I want to say came out in September of last year. The song, that
It
version.
wasn't. Yeah, it was not that long ago.
Yeah. And it was great. Was it Motley Crue? No. Were they in it? Yeah. But it was Dolly freaking Parton
Right.
with
And,
Motley freaking Crue.
and that's the thing. Like these people didn't just do this, because their agent told them to, or her management reached out. These people wanted to do this. There were people clamoring to be on this record that weren't on the record.
Right.
Slash being one of them, because he's a huge Dolly Parton fan, and that makes it even more special when people wanted to do it because it's Dolly.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you could go through an entire list of songs that she's wrote, or just popular songs that she's wrote. She's won Grammys. She's gotten a lifetime achievement awards. She's in the, I think it's called the Country and Western Hall of Fame, as well as Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as we've pointed out. She's had the Kennedy Center honors, but it's for the music that she puts out, the duets that she had. I'll start off Kenny Rogers.
Right.
I mean, icon. Yeah, sure. The majority of it was country, but you
Well,
can't
that was
stop
a that
there.
was a huge pop crossover.
Oh, for sure.
So was 9 to 5. And how many times has Jolene been covered?
173.
I mean, that right there, um, just by default, may be almost her most well-known song. I would argue Whitney Houston's version of "I Will Always Love You" would be the most well-known. That just
I've got
blew
a
up.
crazy fact to tell you about that song once we get to
Oh
it.
well, I bet you it's the same one I've got.
Okay. All right.
I bet it
Probably.
is.
Uh, it's not just music. Okay. Because everybody knows that she was on the big screen, all of her. And
Oliver.
we're talking 9 to 5, uh, Rhinestone, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. And these are iconic movies. If you've not seen either, she was even in Steel Magnolias. And if people haven't seen these
Yeah.
movies and are like,
Right.
"Oh, I'm sure she couldn't do very good," are you kidding? These movies, they're hilarious. She had a sense of humor that was just off the charts.
Yeah, Dolly has things that you don't teach, because she just falls right into uh, these roles. She gives the air of being someone that can do anything she wanted to do. If she wanted to
Yeah,
act, she could have acted a lot more than she did.
yeah. She was nominated for Golden Globes. She had 2 nominations for Oscars.
Oh wow.
and she was nominated for a Tony Award. So yeah, the only thing I
Yeah.
wish, and I don't know why, I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I'm going to ask the question as I type it. Why wasn't Dolly Parton part of We Are the World?
Ooh, that's interesting.
I've always
That's
wondered that, and
interesting.
I've never thought to ask it. The answer to that is that primarily because the recording session was hastily arranged to take place on January 28th, 1985, in Los Angeles, right after the American Music Awards, meaning the lineup was restricted to major artists who happened to be in town and available that
Yeah.
specific night. Um, and of course, Dolly
Good
Parton
year.
was not based in LA.
No.
But somebody turn around and go, well, Willie Nelson and Kenny Rogers were there. Yeah, because they were probably nominated for AMAs. So therefore they were in town. Or
Right.
Quincy Jones flew them out. Whatever. Um, but man, her stuff just doesn't stop at the music. I'm back over looking at Rockstar, the the track listing. 15 tracks on disc 1, 15 on disc 2. There were other things, some downloadable versions for different tracks, including Jolene, of course, but Mainskin performed it. So there's another person that, that was involved with that song. Richie Sambora, who was on the song Rockstar, Kid Rock, we didn't mention him a while ago, Steven Tyler. I mean, that list goes on and on. And of course, Miley Cyrus, who is Dolly Parton's goddaughter. Um, if you didn't know, the announcement of her passing was done, I believe, by her nephew, excuse me, via video. And I had heard she was, that she told him that they agreed to this, that he would do that via video, once she passed. And I guess that was an arrangement she had with him years ago and ended up doing that. So it's actually kind of cool.
And you're going on about, of course, her extensive resume, but I think the bigger part of Dolly's legacy is her charitable events, her charitable contributions,
Oh my gosh.
which are just so lengthy and numerous, and just what she did for is it Sevierville? I always want to say Cedarville, but Sevierville and Pigeon
Severe,
Forge
Severville,
and
Sevierville.
Gatlinburg and that whole area.
Yeah,
Because before 1986, that wasn't really known as a. They're just little towns in the mountains, but
right.
that's where she grew up, and she wanted people to see, the Smoky Mountains and how beautiful they were. And this whole tourism boom started primarily because of her influence in that area. Uh, Dollywood, yeah, which is a big one. That was started in '86 in Pigeon Forge, and that sustainable economic growth helped a lot of people in that area get jobs and uh, earn money from just the tourism of it.
The one of the
Yeah, Dollywood's the biggest employer of Seaver County.
yeah, one of the biggest, you just mentioned, excuse me, you just mentioned charities. The charity stuff that she does. She has what is called the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
Right.
Uh, and it gives free books worldwide. And I think I read somewhere that it has been over 330 million books. To put into perspective just how important this is, for those that pay attention to the whole Travis Kelsey, Taylor Swift stuff that happens, I believe it was right before their wedding. Together, they donated $2 million to this imagination library. So this isn't something that's just, dollars and cents and, pennies and nickels. This is
No.
huge. They send out over 1 million free books each month to children. And that's what it was about. It was just about giving back. and that's
Right.
what she did. And that's something that will continue, whether she's actually, here with us now in person or in body and soul, but her spirit and her legacy will continue that on. So
Right. It's someone that you can listen to a song that she's performing and
yeah.
not only think about that song, but you're thinking about uh, her, and it might lead to this legacy that we're talking about.
Well,
That's what that does. You listen to one of her songs, you're like, man, that's Dolly. Listen to that great song, that great voice, because she had a beautiful voice. I don't think I've ever heard a voice quite like that since. That very just a beautiful voice, and then it leads you to these other things that she's done in her life. That's a great way to have your legacy remembered. And
at
and go ahead.
at 77 years old, she was either 76 or 77. This is the same woman who performed at the Dallas Cowboy Thanksgiving halftime show in
Yes, yes, in
2023 in
in
uniform.
the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader uniform, which uh, I was blown away that she did that,
Yeah,
and it looked great.
she didn't care,
No,
but
I mean that's what you're having all that work done for, right? That's what she tell you.
right. Yeah. Somebody asked her if they were real or fake one time, and she said that, oh, they're absolutely fake. I mean, she doesn't grow nails that look like that. There
Right.
are some random facts about Dolly Parton. I'm going to go over a couple of them. I will not touch the one that I think you're going to talk about. Um, she may have had a wig for every day of the year. Of course, she was known for her signature blonde hair, but she had a very impressive collection of wigs because most of the time, that's what she wore, was just a wig. If you didn't know, she also had tattoos. The tattoos that
Really.
she had were small and they were used to cover scars, which I found very interesting because a lot of people do that. Um, she has said before that she sleeps in her makeup, which I think is quite funny. I can imagine the laundry bill, even though I'm pretty sure she does not have a problem paying for that. And she was raised alongside 11 siblings in a small cabin in Tennessee. But the biggest of them all, in my opinion, is probably the one you're going to talk about.
Are you talking about when Elvis offered to
Yes.
record "I Will Always Love You," and she turned him down? Um, so typically, um, that's another thing. Dolly was a very smart businesswoman. Even as far back as when this was released in 1974, her version, released in 1974, uh, hit the number one country chart. "I Will Always Love You," and Elvis fell in love with that song, and Elvis is known to either buy songs from other people and record them or cover songs.
Yeah.
And it was always a prestigious honor for Elvis to do your song. It meant that you made it as a songwriter if
Yeah.
Elvis wanted to do one of your songs. And I believe the negotiation actually came down between her and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker.
Correct.
And right, and the offer was what, for half of the publishing
50% of the publishing royalties.
royalties from that song. Okay, it's already a number one country song, so she knows what she's got, and she also knows that down the road this may benefit her. So Colonel Tom's offer is you get 50%, which is better than 100% of nothing, right?
Yeah.
But when it came down to it, she told Elvis and Colonel Tom Parker, "No, I'm going to keep my song, and you can go find someone else." And years later, was it 1992? Whitney
Yeah.
Houston records it, doesn't get a royalty, doesn't get any of the publishing on it, and that song turned into an even bigger hit years and years later when she recorded it. And the money that came from that, can you imagine the money she made off of that song
In an
just from Whitney
interview,
doing it?
in an interview that I saw, there was something where somebody asked her if she was upset that people consider that song to be Whitney Houston's song.
Right. Right.
She said she did not care. They could call it whatever they want as long as the money keeps rolling in. And there's been some figures I've read that she's easily gotten over $6 million just from that song alone. I wouldn't be surprised if
Uh,
it's much higher than that.
right, because the people that know and the fans that she had knew where that song came from.
Oh yeah.
All Whitney did was bring it to a broader audience,
Yeah.
and her delivery is absolutely totally different, and it's
Mhm.
a powerhouse delivery, and it's a great delivery. It's a great version. But yeah, I think she was probably honored to do that song, and yeah, it made a lot of money. And think what she did with that money, the 6 million we're talking about, the minimum we're guessing.
Yeah.
You know, Dolly probably put it right back into some charity or community or something.
Exactly. Moderator Natalie just tried to challenge us by asking, do you know who she wrote that song for? The answer is
Me,
yes. Well, yeah, I'm going to say she's probably asking both of us, but I know the answer. A lot of people think that it was the fact that she wrote it because of a scorned lover or a romantic partner, but that is not the case. She actually wrote it about and for Porter Wagner because I like her contract or something was up
right?
and they couldn't agree, so she was leaving and she ended up writing that song um, about him for him,
Really?
and he even got
Well,
to listen to it. She sang it to him the very next day after she wrote it.
wow, I didn't know. If you
Yeah,
don't know, she got her beginning on the old Porter Wagner show
right.
back in the late '60s, right? It was probably late '60s,
Late 60s on into the early 70s.
right? And so her contract comes up, and this is the song she wrote to kind of put a button on that part of her life, her career, I guess.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
exactly. A couple other things to mention in regards to this. The next Atlantic hurricane that gets named is going to be named Dolly. This is absolutely coincidental. It is not something that was changed just because of her passing. It just so happened that if you looked at the 2026 list of Atlantic named storms, Dolly happens to be the very next one. And I thought that was crazy.
Right.
I saw a meme earlier today where somebody said that we have lost the light and the dark of the world now that Dolly is gone, as she was the light, and of course Ozzy, who was the dark. So whatever your
We're in
beliefs
chaos.
are, yeah, whatever your beliefs are, I'm sure that I'm imagining a heck of a concert going on with Ozzy, and she actually recorded a video. Not to get off topic, she recorded a video for Back in the Beginning for Ozzy, and it was
Oh, really?
played. Um, it was played there since she wasn't there live. So yeah, it's phenomenal.
I can imagine Ozzy seeing that and
Oh,
marking out, just
you can
just
find it. There
fanboying.
are some videos. They've talked before. There's been some other things where she had sent him a birthday post or a video, wishing him happy birthday, singing him happy birthday. There was a connection there, which I
Wow.
find absolutely fascinating. Absolutely
Right.
fascinating. Um, but yeah, again, we
She
could.
she probably got a real kick out of him.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it.
Yeah. You did what with them ants? Yeah. Uh, I've already said we could do this whole episode on the legacy of Dolly. However, we are going to move on to the rest of the news that we've got tonight. I will say that, of course, on behalf of the Weekly Poor Podcast, myself and Ace, our thoughts are absolutely with the family and the fans and everybody that will miss Dolly from here on out. Unfortunately, though, as we move on to our next story, we have another death that took place yesterday, although it was not announced until today. If you haven't heard this, Tim Curry, famously of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, also passed away yesterday. Um, he was also 80 years old.
Wow.
Now, there's a lot of people that want to say, well, you guys mainly, focus on music and all that. Why are you talking about Tim Curry? I've already said it. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. If you are one of those people that have never seen this, you need to go watch it. You may turn it off before you finish it, and that's fine. But this is an iconic film. If you want to talk
We
about one,
covered this.
yeah, you
Yep.
want to talk about one other iconic film, Tim Curry was the
Yep.
original Pennywise.
Yep.
So
And he did a great job too.
he
If
did a
you
spooky job. He
remember,
was scary.
yeah, right. The original It was actually very good,
Yeah.
and he was a big part of that.
Um, Tim Curry was an incredible, incredible actor. You can see what he did in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You can see what he did in It. There's so many other things that he was been in. Treasure Island or Muppet. It was the Muppets. It was Muppet Treasure Island. He was in Annie. I mean, he did a lot of stuff. There was another one I was gonna Adam's Family Reunion. I had a couple of these
Okay.
typed out that I wanted to make sure I talked about, just to talk about a couple of things that he had did. But
Eh,
my gosh,
right, and I don't feel like the Rocky Horror thing is the only connection to rock and metal. I always feel like
oh, sure,
horror movies have a built-in connection to rock and metal. I just feel that way ever since I was a kid in the '80s.
yeah,
Probably because what was the one that we always talk about?
shocker,
Is it Shocker?
yeah,
That's one of them.
with
There's
Horace
always a
Pinker,
rock. Yeah, there's always a rock and metal soundtrack with horror movies, and I just connect,
yeah,
horror and metal. So if you need a connection, there it is.
yeah. You go look at the Wikipedia page if you need to for Tim Curry to see some of the stuff that he's done. Hunt for Red October, Clue, which was with Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, some hilarious movies. But most importantly, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You gotta watch it at least once, right, Ace?
Right, at least once, which
Yeah,
I haven't done yet, but I'll get there.
yeah, at least once. We have to. Um, yeah. So Tim Curry, it sucks. And you and I were talking about this before we went on the air. This stuff happens in threes. This one has actually happened in fours if you count ZZ Top's drummer Hayden
Frank Beard.
Panettiere,
Yeah.
Dolly Parton, and Tim Curry. Just
Wow.
2 days ago was also, I believe, the third anniversary, if you were a fan, whether you're a fan or not, uh, of Wyndham Rotunda, better known as Bray Wyatt from WWE, who passed away 3 years ago after suffering a heart attack. And he was an active member of the roster.
Has
So,
it only been 3 years?
yeah, I couldn't believe it had been three. So I was shocked. But from one iconic voice to another, we now shift to some tough touring news for Bret Michaels, as he has canceled the remainder of his 2026 tour dates to heal after the surgeries. Of course, Poison frontman Bret Michaels announced he's taking the next several months off from touring through the end of 2026 to do what he says, heal and get back to 100%. He underwent surgery in June for a kidney stone and a stent placement after playing 3 shows in intense pain before being hospitalized. He attempted a comeback in August in Sugar Hill, Georgia. This was just
Just a couple days ago.
the 21st, I think it was, so maybe 5 days ago, but realized his body wasn't fully recovered and consulted doctors, and they said, yeah, you're done. You need to shut down the rest of the year.
Yeah, he was doing those shows to test out, how he felt
Yeah,
because he was supposed to headline Saturday night at the Monsters on the Mountain festival in
right.
Knoxville, Tennessee, and they ended up, I believe, pushing him out because he had to cancel, and extending Night Ranger's set
Yeah,
was part of the deal. And I get it. Brett likes to work. But I mean, at some point, you have to listen to your doctors, or you won't be working at all.
This dude is a road warrior, though. He's got type 1 diabetes. In 2010, he had a brain hemorrhage. He's now been dealing with all this stuff with his kidneys and urethral tract, whatever it is. I'm not a doctor, wherever he had to have the stent. But
Yeah, but we've got a tour. We got a Poison reunion next year that we want.
right. So does that partially have some ingredients to this? Does this add a little bit of, yeah, maybe I need to shut down for the rest of 2026? We're not talking like a couple weeks. It is only August in the
Right.
touring mind frame. It is not the end of summer yet, but it's August. We still have 4 months left of this year. Does taking these next 4 months off, which is going to end up being more than four because nobody tours in January,
No.
usually not February. So now you're talking at least maybe 6 or 7 months off to heal and hopefully come back and give us this full Poison Stadium return in 2027. Only time will tell, but we hope that this is going to be enough for Bret Michaels to get better because nobody wants to see any of this.
No. And again, listen to the doctors. Do what they do. What they say. Don't push it. And, I don't. I can't remember how old he is, but he is in his 60s. Correct.
Yes,
He doesn't act it or look it, but he's in his 60s. At some point you've got to know your body and just relax a little bit because it'll be better when he comes back 100% and does
right.
this massive tour that we're all hoping to see with Poison.
63. He is
63.
63 years old.
By no means is 63 old, and that's coming from someone
No,
who's not far from 63.
yeah, next
you
year.
know, not next year. I got a little time, but I'm a stone's throw. You know,
Yeah, very small pebble.
so I'm a Hail Mary, uh, a long Hail Mary,
It depends on
but
who's throwing the
still,
ball. his doctors basically just said this: we'll be pulling Brett off the road. Plain and simple.
period.
Yeah, he wanted to attempt the show, but there's a much needed period of rest and slow recovery ahead. Slow recovery. I didn't say just recovery, slow recovery,
Slow
especially
recovery.
considering the heat and humidity during the summer months and the effect it can have on his blood sugar levels. So it's not just
That's
all about, you know,
no, that's the biggest problem he has that holds his health
yeah,
hostage is his diabetes,
yep,
and he has to be
and
careful
has
on
for
how he
years.
manages. Yeah, he has to manage that, and he's done great for years. It's not that he doesn't know how to handle it,
Right,
but again, like you said, the heat and it's a kidney thing, and I mean, we just don't want to take chances.
right. So hopefully this is what works, because we need Brett healthy and we need Poison to tour in 2027.
Right.
Speaking of tours, while Brett's stepping off the road to recover, there's another band, a powerhouse from our neighbors up north who aren't getting charged a tariff. They are gearing up for a massive, I guess, part two of their
Yeah, we're
current
just picking it up.
milestone. Um, our boys in Triumph are going to keep going. This is, of course, uh, one of our wonderful people, Viper, his favorite band. Viper's
He
usually
loves
in the
them.
chat. He loves Triumph, but they will return to the road this fall for a second round of tour dates starting in November. April Wine will once again appear at all the concerts as well. The next leg of the Rock and Roll Machine Reloaded tour, which is celebrating the band's 50 years of music, will launch November 17th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They are set to perform a total of 16 shows as of right now, wrapping up December 12th in San Diego. I thought you were okay.
Uh,
There you are.
well, what's really cool about this is not only are they coming, I mean, they're coming here. That's what the big thing is. You had talked to during the first round of tour about holding out, seeing about tour dates being added closer. Because I went to the St. Louis show.
Right.
I didn't care. I needed to see this band. I needed to see this reunion. But they are coming to Fishers, Indiana, which is right next door to Indianapolis. They've got a beautiful new hockey arena there. It's the Fishers Event Center. I'm not sure the capacity of it, but it's going to be a nice show. That's great. But they're also doing what everyone wanted them to do, which was hit the West Coast. They'll
Yeah.
be in Oakland. They'll be in L.A. at the Forum, because you were knocking them, me and you talking. You're knocking them about playing in Paoli or something. They're playing the Forum.
Yeah.
That's a full on arena, buddy.
But they
And
might as well be playing Paoli because the Fishers Event Center has a capacity of 7,500 people.
not bad. That's
No.
not bad.
And you could fit that
Yeah,
many people on the hill at Castle Knoll.
yeah, right. But look at this though. That's I mean, there are several arenas on this list, which I would love to see ticket sales, but those are hard to
Yeah.
get. I'd like to see how these sell because man, if they can sell out at the arena in San Diego, in L.A., Oakland, that would just be amazing.
Vegas.
And it would, yeah, they got a show in Vegas, Reno. That's at a theater.
Right.
So I mean, shoot, they're have Guitar Will Travel. We don't care where we play.
For sure. The Fishers, Indiana show on November 27th at the Fishers Event Center, that is on Black Friday. So if you are looking
Right.
to get Ace a Thanksgiving gift, as you
Please.
should for Black Friday, you should get him 2 tickets. That's one for each of us to the Fishers
Right,
Event
right.
Center in Fishers, Indiana, November 27th for Triumph.
And it's worth the ticket. And I'm really excited to see what this looks like indoors.
I
Uh,
was going to say that.
yeah, because I saw them outdoor at a amphitheater, and it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. But I can't even imagine what this looks like indoors with the lighting and the laser show they do and all the stuff they do.
Right.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, it should be, and it's cool to still see them, still going, wanting to do another leg. I'm
They
sure
got the
that was the
bug.
plan the whole time, but
No, they will.
the
I don't think they were sure. I don't think they were
oh,
sure.
they were sure after the first week of sales.
I think after the first week of playing and seeing how they did and how they felt and how good this sounded, I think they decided then. I
Oh,
really
for
do. And
sure.
so I'm excited, and I'm glad they could fit Phil X back in and Todd Kearns, and you know get their schedules lined out because those two are in demand and very busy.
Yes, very much so. Speaking of legendary frontmen putting together monster live bills, it's not just Bret Michaels who's stepping off. It's not just Triumph, who is continuing on after 50 years. Alice Cooper has just dropped a powerhouse for his holiday lineup. This is something that he does out in Arizona. It's a very cool event. This is known as one of Phoenix, Arizona's signature holiday events. This is the 24th annual Alice Cooper Christmas Pudding fundraising event. It returns to Phoenix on December 12th of this year at Celebrity Theater in Phoenix with another powerhouse lineup featuring, of course, Alice Cooper, hopefully a healed Dee Snider, who most recently, I think yesterday, broke his shoulder. That's a whole
Ooh,
nother story. Uh,
wow!
Joe Hottinger of Hailstorm with Lizzie Hale of Hailstorm and John Five and the Creatures. Phenomenal lineup. There's not a whole lot out about this yet, as far as like, are they going to be performing? What's going on? But this is an event that's put on, and the proceeds from this event directly benefit music, dance, art, and vocational programs offered to teens from the age of 12 to 20. 12's not a teenager, neither is 20. Whatever, not my program. Alice Cooper's, and it's at Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Teen Center that he has in Phoenix, Mesa, and Goodyear, Arizona. Alice Cooper basically says that they are excited to celebrate their 24th year with another incredible lineup of artists who genuinely give their time and talent to support the teens at our 3 teen centers. Tickets, of course, can be purchased if you're going to be in the Phoenix, Arizona area. All you got to do is just Google that Alice Cooper's 24th annual Christmas pudding fundraising event. I love the name of that. What is it
Uh,
about the word pudding? Christmas
I,
pudding.
I don't know. It is seemingly fun to say.
It
I hope
is.
I hope he's not making the pudding. I don't know if I would trust Alice or anyone in his
No.
circle to make the pudding because have you seen their shows? I mean, they chop Alice's head off and all sorts
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it
I don't know what they're
figgy
pudding.
pudding?
Is it bread pudding?
Is it butterscotch pudding?
What kind of I need to know the pudding.
I do too. I don't
But
know.
yeah, this is another celebrity, another rock star giving back, and I love that.
As moderator Natalie says, everybody love pudding.
We need to watch.
Said it just like
She's
that.
talking. She's talking dirty again.
I don't know if she was this time.
Are you sure?
No, I am not sure at all.
There you go.
A new study suggests that artificial intelligence was used to create nearly, now get this, 40% of the music released in July 2026. We're talking 1 month. Nearly 40% of the music released was AI. The research also raised the question of whether nearly a third of creators were lying when they said they hadn't employed AI in their songs. The figures emerged a month after the Submit Hub platform launched its AI detection tool, which is called SH Labs, after identifying a growing disclosure problem that leaves listeners unaware of how the material they're hearing was created. This tool, used by Bandcamp, TrackSource, and others, analyzed more than 1 million songs released last month. Of those, 23.2% were found to be entirely AI generated, with an additional 15.3% containing AI elements which had been modified by humans. The recent study also found that 31% of AI generated songs were tagged by their submitters as not artificially generated. Um, yeah,
It said there was a large percentage of producers
I, that was
that
the
were
next part of this. Absolutely.
right. So that got me wondering because when we say AI, are we talking about people like you and me just you know getting something thrown together and we're slapping it up on Spotify, or
Right.
are we talking about legitimate artists using AI, and then what are they using it for? Yeah, I mean, we all know there's studio tricks that good mixers and
100%.
producers can do. We all know that because you can make people sound 20 years younger just because of what you can do with a mixing board.
Yeah.
But what are they doing with AI? That's
Here,
what makes me wonder.
here's my question. Um, the the 31% of the creators, I think I said 31, falsely tagged them as 100% human made. Here's a good question. Is hiding that AI involvement in backing tracks or lyrics, is that fraudulent to rock fans? I'm not talking about just lying about it. I mean, be upfront.
No, just not talking about it, just
But
not
is
mentioning it.
hiding it? You don't have to lie about it, but you're hiding it. Is that fraudulent to music
Well,
fans? They don't even have to be rock fans.
are you hiding it, or are you just not mentioning it? Omitting the
There's no
fact
difference. There could be no difference if you're just not telling it. Then are you hiding it? Yeah.
because
Well, I'm not
it's
hiding it. Nobody asked. When you submit a song, you have to put. That's one of the questions.
Right. You should put a disclaimer on what was used, what was AI used for in this. And I just don't know, because there's so many techniques. And is this just another tool? I mean, we had auto tune for years, and what is auto tune? I mean, you could probably now use an AI bot to auto tune,
Yeah.
doing the same thing you did 20 years ago. So I don't know. Um, I don't. I'm afraid they're going to raise the bar so high, though, that a real human going out on tour trying to perform the song he just recorded with AI assistance to sound like he did 20 or 30 years ago he won't be able to do it.
I'd like to play the song that hit number one. That's what they're going to do. They're going to hold their
Right,
phone up to the
right,
microphone and
right.
play it, or their MP3 player or whatever they have now. Here's another question, too. Are music fans ever going to be able to filter out AI? Is that going to be an option when you go searching for specific music on Apple, Spotify, whatever? Are you going to be able to click a button that says um, leave out AI music? We've had this
Well,
conversation somewhat before. You go to TikTok, you listen to rock and metal or country or any kind of music, you find AI generated songs. And I'll be the first to admit a lot of them aren't so bad. And then you're like, holy Nikes, that's AI.
I think Spotify put out a notice that they were going to start marking in the AI stuff, right?
Right,
So
right.
that it doesn't show up in your suggestions, which is helpful. What I'm looking at now is that a lot of it has to do in the studio with mixing and mastering,
Oh, sure.
using smart equalizers and compression and acoustic effects and things like that you use in the studio. But guide vocals. So vocalists use pitch matching and tone synthesis tools to hear how backing vocal lines or multi-part harmony will stack before spending hours tracking, taking take after take in the booth. So now it's saying we're using this just as a sample, a demo, to hear
Right.
what this may sound like. Okay, why are you doing that when you just did it?
Exactly. You could do what Australia did. Australia's recorded music industry will now bar tracks wholly generated by AI. They're going to ban them from official charts as burgeoning generative technologies threaten artists' livelihoods, according to a representative. This crackdown comes after a variation of Madonna's pop hit Like a Prayer, which was created by a producer using AI generated vocals and drums, has spent 16 weeks in the Australian top 20. Basically, they're saying that is taking away from an actual artist and them doing what they do. Um,
Right.
so
What is
kudos
Madonna
to
getting from
them.
that?
Yeah, probably nothing. Probably nothing whatsoever. But kudos to Australia for doing that, because now they're looking out for the artist.
Right. Right. I appreciate that, and hopefully there'll be more transparency going forward.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 195. We are all out of time. I want to thank everybody who was in the chat watching and commenting. The majority of it was the moderator, because she was trying to call us out and say hi to people and talking about Clue and Home Alone 2 and a bunch of other stuff. We do appreciate you guys doing this, joining us live. We appreciate you guys listening to this afterwards. If you are going to the Motley Crue show in Noblesville this Friday, be sure to look for me, TBT. I'll be there, and I'll probably have some stickers and maybe some other swag to hand out. Don't forget, if you want to call or text us, you can do so. The Viper did earlier. You can call us or text us at 747-333-8977, 747-333-8977. This was episode 195. We are 5 away from 200. Next week, more news. And we hope that's it. And it's good news. Let's hope for good news.
Let's hope.
Yeah, we'll be coming at you live next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern as we get closer to 200. I MTBT. That guy over there, that's Ace. We'll see you next week.